So here we have the SoccerStato software, and this is your second tutorial video where we're going to look at filtering the matches that we use by using quick filters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load the coupon as I did yesterday. So I go File, Load Coupon, we get today's date, and I load that coupon up with today's games, and you can see we've got all events. I select in-play events, and I've got all the in-play games again for the 4th of December on the Betfair coupon, 9 o'clock in the morning down to 1:10 tomorrow morning. I now need to get the statistics for those games so that we populate the right hand side of the screen. So I then go to my load and statistics, and all the filled areas are there. I just click OK, and that's going to go off and load all the statistics for these games so that we can populate this right hand side and fill up these tabs before we start filtering our games down further for potential betting opportunities. So it takes about 30 seconds to go and get all that, and there we go, and we've got all the games there. And now if we click on a game, so we'll go down to, there's some Premier League action, and click Liverpool Norwich, you can see it all fills up there and everything's there. Now there will be games in here with some very obscure teams. There's some under-19 football, there's some Hong Kong Reserve Division football that Betfair now put on their in-play coupons. It's impossible to have statistics for every team, every under-19 team, and to be honest, you probably wouldn't want to be betting on those anyway. So what we can do here, using the filter menu, we can filter missing statistics, so we can get rid of the teams on this coupon that we haven't actually got all the data for. And quite simply, I hit that filter missing statistics. This is where it says events with no or only partial statistics. Teams in red have no statistics available. And as you can see, it is these obscure under-19 leagues and things that we're not interested in. So I just select all and get rid of those. And now every game has got statistics on the right hand side, and we're down to 92 games. So what I want to do, I've still got leagues in here that I would never bet on: Turkish Cup, lower leagues in Germany, United Arab Emirates games, just things that wouldn't interest me. So what I want to do, I want to filter these down further. Yesterday I showed you how you can filter by countries and leagues using the top. What we're going to do now, we're going to quick filter, and we're going to look at particular games based on either the statistics or the market prices. So I click the quick filter and it opens a new window, and I've got two tabs: statistics or markets. So let's start with statistics, and we've got an action button where we've got keep, remove and highlight. We've got events where the category, and then it equals all the statistic categories that we want here: head-to-heads, leagues, correct scores. I'm going to select the goals category. And then we can click that. When we've selected a category, we get the statistic, and it asks you what do you want to look for, what games do you want to keep, and there's all sorts here: home under 1.5, home under 2.5, all these different things. So what I'm going to look for, I'm going to try and find games that potentially might have some goals. So I'm going to go where the combined percentage, this percentage over here on the over 2.5 goal market, is relatively high. 100 is where it's a 50-50, because what we've got is the two percentages added together, the percentage of the home team added to the percentage of the away team. So the maximum figure we could have in the middle here would be 200 if every game they played was over 2.5 goals. What I'm going to look and say, just filter my list down to games that potentially the teams have got a lot of matches over 2.5 goals. So logic would say we hopefully could expect goals tonight. We know football's not really like that all the time, and you would do more research, but it's a starting point to filter my list. So I'm going to go combined over 2.5. I've got a box then that I can use that asks me what do I want to do. Do I want to go greater than, less than, equal, between? So let's go greater than, and I'm not going to set it at a silly amount. I'm going to go greater than 115. So the percentages of the two teams add up to greater than 115%. So I've got 92 games on the coupon at the moment. I hit run, and now in a flash, you saw how quick that was. I've now only got 21 games. I've still got the games in the United Arab Emirates because they happen to be games that have got a lot of goals in between these sides are playing games that generate a lot of matches over 2.5. 29 games for Al Wada were over 2.5 out their last 50. If I go down to Liverpool v Norwich, 33 of Liverpool's last 50 games have been over 2.5. 28 of Norwich's, and you can see that gives me that 122%, the 66% plus the 56%, 122. So there will be games that potentially tonight you could expect goals. When we've got games with goals in, that gives us a chance to find trading opportunities, those of us who like to trade in play. It's, you know, you build systems and things going forward. This is just a very brief introduction into how you can filter the coupon to look for certain areas that you may be interested in. I'm always interested in games where potentially the teams can score a lot of goals, because that's how I make my money trading. Some of you may look for low scoring games because you like to try and trade around the 0-0. But for me, I like goals in games, and I like to trade when I think teams are going to score, or the stats give me indications that the prices on them scoring are incorrect. So when I've got that, I've still got games here that I may not be interested in, so I could still then go in and use the filter I showed you in the first video. I can hit countries and leagues. I can deselect everything and think, well, actually I only want to see the games in England tonight. So I'll click OK, and all of a sudden now I'm down to 5 games. I've got one Northern League game, which probably won't have a lot of money in it, but then I've got 3 games in the Premiership where they hopefully they should see some goals, and a game in the Championship, Derby v Middlesbrough, where you can see 32 of Derby's games there have ended over 2.5 goals out of the last 50. So you would like to think that you see some goals. So that's how I filter it by statistics, and as I say, you've got plenty of different markets in there that you can look at, and it's worth having a play around with to see what you can come up with. So I cancel that. Now I've obviously filtered this coupon. I want to filter it by market prices. You can always get back to your default coupon anytime. You simply click on filter and hit reset, and it's going to reset everything, and it asks you what you want to reset. I leave the reset missing statistics blank because I'm not interested in those. I don't want the missing statistics showing up on there. Again, I don't want those games, so I just leave that blank, reset everything else, and I get my coupon back to where it should be and what I want to see. Now I'm going to do a quick filter by market prices. So I go filter, and I'm going to go to quick filter, and this time I'm going to use the markets tab. Now, in order for me to do that, you can see we've got all sorts of information here. We can do back price, lay price, this, that and the other. In order for us to do that, we need to decide, right, what are we going to do and what market do we need the prices in for. So I'm going to use the match odds market. So I'm just going to pause that a second and go and load my market prices for the match odds. So I go to the load button, I load my market prices. I'm going to look at match odds. So if you were looking at over 2.5 goals, you'd load the 2.5 goals market. If you were looking at home team to win a half, you'd load that market. I'm going to load match odds. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to go for the lay odds this time only. So I'm going to load match odds, but the lay odds only. So I go there, and I'm going to, not worry about volume, I load that, and again it goes off to Betfair and gets all those lay odds for me in 20-30 seconds, and they're going to populate in the match screen here so we can see those odds. So I've got all the odds there now. Now I'm going to go and use my quick filter. I've already selected the market tab. I've already selected match odds. I've got the lay price, and I'm going to look for teams that are odds on. So I've got the home team, and I'm going to look and see when they're low price. So I'm going to take that right down to 101. You can move this up and down again as you wish. I'm taking it right down to 101, up to 195. So I only want this coupon to show me teams that I've got the lay price between 101 and 195, in effect odds on shots that potentially I might think are weak favourites and I could lay. So I hit run, and you see now I'm only down to 26 markets. A couple of the markets are suspended, but I've got all the teams here, Liverpool at 1.29, Arsenal at 1.24, that if I was looking at laying odds on favourites, if that was my particular choice of betting action, I haven't got to trawl through a coupon to find them all. I've got them here now, and again I could go in and I could filter them by country and league and say I actually only want to play again in England, and perhaps we'll play all the league. We'll take the Northern League game out, and Germany, what have we got there? Let's have a look at the German Cup games. And France, they've got a League One game, so let's just leave those are the only leagues I want to look at, and I click OK, and there's no League One games and odds on favourite, but there's a couple of German Cup games and 4 games in the Premier League. So that would be an area now. I've filtered that coupon right down. I know exactly what time I need to be at the computer to trade if I wish to. I've got everything again in front of me in one screen. I've got all my stats populated, and I've filtered it by markets, and earlier I showed you how to filter it by statistics. Quick filters are a great way for you to reduce the coupon down into specific areas for yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a play around with it, and we'll be back again with video 3 for you very soon.